You're my special friend.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Special Friends Podcast. I'm your boy, Wuzi, and I'm here with...
Allie B. What's up, y'all?
And we're back with another episode. Sorry we took a week off. Not really sorry, but we took a week off.
Yeah.
Had to be done. Allie is in work mode. I'm also heavily in work mode, so a week was needed. I'm just bad at being like a PR, sending out a little message. Like I was like, we'll just get you next week.
Yeah.
Should have did something, but I thought about it. As I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Do I just post a video? I just post it on Instagram?
Nobody asked. Nobody asked me anything,
Yeah,
so
right?
I think
Y'all be all right.
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I know one person. CJ asked, he's like, "What happened?" I'm like,
Oh,
I let them on red. I said, "Sorry, bro. I don't got a
Maybe
reason
CJ like
for you.
that.
I just don't. I hate explaining myself.
Yeah.
I gotta explain myself. I don't know. I don't know why I do the things that I do, CJ.
Yeah, you know.
But we're back with another episode. It's Saturday. As you can see, it's light outside. No dark vibes today. What they say? Bright-eyed and what does it say?
Bushy-tailed.
Yeah, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's been a week. But yeah, I wanted to, me and Allie took a break. I don't know if she wants to share how busy she is, but I know basically we kind of had some schedule changes. I'm going to be back posting the Creative Balance Show and whatnot, and also helping record some new shows. So definitely gonna be a lot more busy coming up. So I got to make sure that I plan accordingly, and that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, is sitting down, making a comprehensive schedule that can get the work done, pretty much. Yeah. So that's why that's why I personally needed a break. Plus, my girlfriend's in town, or my girlfriend comes in town more often, so also had to rearrange my schedule to figure out how the hell we will make that work.
Yes, we love having Alexis in town.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But yeah, it's just like fall time's here, new semester, a lot more classes to teach, a lot more students to support, a lot more places to be. So I'm glad we're recording on weekends right now, because it feels just like I said earlier, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, just having the whole week is over instead of still moving through the week. It's a different energy. And we get the daylight. We get to have the sun.
Pretty much. I mean, the sun is definitely always a big positive, but also I think, like you said, the weight of the week, the weight of the day is not there. Because, you go to work and it's like, I got to turn it on. At least today I don't feel like I got to turn it on. Like, I got to turn it on, y'all. Get really into more. I feel like doing it during the week becomes more performative. Yeah.
100%. So it's nice to be back, though.
100%. Anything new been going
on? Let's see. Nothing particularly new.
Any color stand out?
Blue and pink is my vibe right now. I got a pink shirt on underneath this. It's a one-shoulder shirt. Pink, blue. I love this. Yellow is also it. I don't know. I'm kind of like excited for fall, but sad too, because I'm feeling very vibrant. And I know with fall and winter come all the darker colors, especially Halloween season.
Yuck.
I'm actually kind of excited because I don't normally dress up for Halloween, but I want to this year.
What you can dress up as?
No idea.
Not an idea.
Not an idea.
You're not drafting right now? No drafts?
Well, I went on Fashion Nova to see if I could find something like cute, but it's all too sexy. I mean, I don't mind a sexy Halloween costume, but like they're mostly bodysuits. So, there's like
Central.
Some inspiration there, but it's like, where am I going? Where am I going to be seen in this?
I guess Halloween's the only time. I remember we had this conversation before. Like, I mean, granted, I'm joking when I say this. Obviously, I mean, let me preface that because I know how people be. I ain't trying to get crucified today, But then it was like, oh, when can someone be sexy and not be judged? Halloween is a good day. If you want to go all out.
It's the perfect day.
If you want to go all out and nobody's going to say anything about you walking in, you know what I'm saying?
Before Halloween was scary, it was sexy.
Yeah.
Like the original point of Halloween was it? I want to say it was. Hold on.
She's doing some fact checking.
Yeah, before I don't want to misspeak, but I know that it was more a holiday about like I think sexual deviance.
Whoa.
So
that makes more sense. That's crazy. That's actually kind of funny, actually, when you think about it.
Hold on.
I don't know. I think I've never ever truly celebrated Halloween. I think I probably went trick or treating like 3 times in my whole life. Mm-hmm. And I'm so sorry. I just don't see the hype. It's like an overglorified workout.
Okay. Tell me more.
You find it?
Yeah, it's All Souls Day, and so okay. Okay. I read what I said previously in another article, but I can't find that article.
Okay.
So if you look it up, you can see the connection between like Halloween, like why sexy Halloween costumes and things like that. Even like, so from what I remember from the article, it was like, I think it was talking about, you know, orgies and just like things being more appropriate, particularly on this day, because never mind. Let's leave it right there.
Do your own research.
Do your own research, and maybe we'll come back to it closer to Halloween.
Yeah.
Then I'll have more time to actually credibly talk about it. But
yeah. I'm like I said, I don't know. Halloween's never been a move for me. I don't know. Even I've had a bunch of. As I think about it, I think I've never had a good Halloween. Like I think every time I've ever, like I remember one time we went trick or treating, and like we got chased by a guy with a knife. And like it's no telling. A real
knife or a rubber knife?
When you're a kid, you don't know.
Yeah.
It looked real because I feel like I remember it shining. Mm-hmm. With the guy, I mean, granted, I think the guy did it probably. I don't know how many times, but did it multiple times because as we're trick or treating, we're trying to relatively stay in our neighborhood. There was this guy who had a garage, and it's like you can see like the smoke coming from under the garage. It's like you're right. It's like we're like 3 kids, all like we're probably like 7. Like the oldest is probably like 10. Like we're not that old. Mm-hmm. So it's like this guy, like you just see his garage and we're walking slowly and you see like the smoke coming from under the garage, whatever. And you see him like roll the garage up and then he steps out and he sees us. And we're thinking like that's going to be like, you know, black kids, you better not come over here. As soon as I was said, he started booking it and we start booking it. And I remember that day vividly. And then, like, also, like...
Did he have a mask on and a costume? Like, was it an act?
Just like Jason.
Oh. Well, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's a good scare.
Yeah, so he chased us, and I'm like, oh, no, man. I was like, I don't know. I was telling him, what if he would have caught us, bro? Like, we playing around, but what if he would have caught us? Then what? I'm not trying to find out.
Do you... You know what? Yeah, it's tricky I don't really love Halloween, mainly because I don't do well with scary things.
Yeah.
I like the thrill of scary movies, but they be giving me nightmares sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes when I was a little girl, I also got not chased, but I was trick-or-treating and this kid walks past with a Scream mask, and I'm terrified. I don't like Scream at all. There's a particular scene from the first Scream movie that still sticks with me visually. But now it's a thing. Like, I've seen students with a Scream mask t-shirt on in class, and I have to do everything to be like, avoid eye contact. It's not that big of a deal, but it is, because when I was a kid, this older kid, taller, walks past with a Scream Halloween costume on, full mask, and he squeezes something in his hand, and the next thing I know, blood starts gushing from the mask, just straight down it. And I just scream and run away. And I don't know, for me, I don't love being scared. Like, I don't like being you know what I mean? It's one thing with scary movies, you're like watching other people be scared.
Yeah.
It's another thing when you're the direct person that's the victim.
That makes sense.
But anyway, Scream's not that scary. I just won't watch the movies because
not even the new ones.
I haven't seen any of the new ones. It gives me the vibe of like Final Destination, which I also won't watch.
Really?
Yeah, like Final Destination it's too close to real with the freak accidents.
Really? I feel like those are the movies that I can watch like chilling, like because you know there's a Delulu part of me was like that wouldn't happen to me.
Oh my god, there are a couple scenes from Final Destination, like the scene where the truck driver's driving and he's got all the logs on the truck and one of the logs slips and goes straight through the car behind him and decapitates the driver. Sorry to be like so vulgar, but I will not drive behind cars like that or trucks like that.
I mean, but he didn't feel it.
But he died. See, for me, I don't particularly love horror movies where like it's a lot of gore and killing. I could do with like ghost movies.
Nah, that's where you lost me.
I could do like alien movies.
Cause like for me, like I'm sorry, even when I play video games, like okay, like obviously I used to be a streamer. There's a game when I was a streamer called Outlast. And basically the game is like you're a reporter going into this insane asylum, and your job is to figure out what happened or like what's going on in the insane asylum. I can't remember the premise of why he went up in there, but he basically I think he's trying to find somebody who got lost or figure out what's going on with the insane asylum. And the whole premise of the game is that you have no weapons. If you see something, you have to run. Every time.
That's your only defense?
Yes, run and hide. And for me, that gives me like, anybody who's ever watched me stream, and it was so long ago, so I'm pretty sure only person probably still out there is my boy Red Unicorn. Shout out to my boy Red Unicorn. But yeah, I played it. I told myself I'm gonna try my best, y'all. I started the game. I got to the part where the guy literally you see the guy jump down or something like that, and you have to run to a locker and hide. Mm-hmm. I run into the locker and hide. He walks in, looks like he stops in front of the locker so you can see him, looks both ways, and then walks out and starts muttering stuff as he walks off. And I paused the game. I said, I'm not playing this. I said, we just started the game and it's already too much. Like this is not. I can't do this. I ended up watching the gameplay of it, and they all roast me like, you just really watched the game. I said, the fuck? Like, if I'm watching this, I know that it's gonna get done. You
know what? Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
Because on American Horror Story, that's I think how like season 2 started. There were like 2 twins in this lake house or something like that. I don't remember. They were playing in something, and this boy runs in, and they both turn creepily to him, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, and they say, "You're gonna die today." And I was just so creeped out. I was like, no, I don't need to become a fan of this particular show. That's okay. Like, that's enough for me. So,
yeah.
You know.
Usually, if I, let's just say, like, I could, like, but, like, that's why I don't like ghost movies and stuff like that. Because, like, for me, it's, like, the idea that I can defend myself gives me comfort.
Okay.
Because, like, that's what I said, this delusional part. Like, if it was me, I would have fought Scream back. Like, he not getting me. I would have beat Jason up. He not getting me. Like, but, and that gives me peace of mind. I can watch it peacefully. Mm-hmm. But, like, especially, like, in a game, like, games that give me a gun, even if it's a little bit of bullets, I feel more comfortable because I know that I got a gun. And, like, I'm going to try to save my bullets. But if I wanted to, I could have popped you. Mm-mm. I'm deciding to be smart. And I could play games like that. But the minute that you say that I can't, like, if I get caught, it's a wrap for me. Absolutely not. And movies like that where it's like Insidious stuff like that where they're just getting tore up for no reason, like ain't nothing I could do.
I think I did, and I think I enjoyed Insidious, but when it would come to games, that wouldn't work for me because I would be terrible with a gun in a game.
Well, that's different.
So it's kind of like I don't do well with first person shooter games. It's too much going on. I can't concentrate on like like to prioritize what I need to shoot first so that I don't die. That is not a skill of mine. But I don't know, something about ghosts. I'm not really that afraid of them. I'm especially not afraid of bad ones because I believe in God. So that also kind of helps me rationalize those sort of stories. And I think that's also why I like them, because I'm a spiritualist. So I'm kind of like, if I'm going to be creeped out by something, it's more interesting to me when it's on the lines of like spirituality or make believe or fantasy, as opposed to like actually killing real people. Like that's not fun or thrilling to me at all. But
yeah, I'm not a scary movie person at all.
But people escaping that is thrilling.
So you don't like Saw either?
I hate Saw. Oh my gosh.
Is Saw considered a scary movie?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's definitely in the horror genre. I don't know if it's a scary movie. You know, it's scary. It's horror. I
feel like Saw, they tell you what's gonna happen, so it's not like, I don't know. I can't ever get scared for Saw. It's more like anxiety. Are they gonna make it? His leg.
It's just like with Final Destination. There's a certain particular scene from Saw. I think it's Saw 5 that just right here lodged in.
For someone who don't like movies, you watch a lot of them. Saw 5 is pretty deep.
You know.
I don't think I ever saw.
No. This is the thing. I have my little sister likes scary movies for one, so she would torture me when we were younger and make me watch scary movies with her. But then I just have like other friends that like watching scary movies, so I will do it for the team. But so sometimes those people are like 5 movies in, and I'm just getting caught up. This is the first time I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
And it was intense for the first Saw. I will say that.
Yeah, I don't even know what happens to that one. I've never seen Saw.
I think it was 5.
I've never seen Saw. I just seen like clips, like the one where it's like there was like, I can't remember what movie it was, but it was like, basically it was like people's like a imagine New York where they have the big show, like the showcase of like clothes and stuff like that. Like you're walking down the street, it has like the window so you can see inside the store. It was like some city where it was like a bunch of people walking. The curtain drops and it's like two dudes waking up and a girl waking up, and it was like basically like the girl was cheating and she had 2 dudes. So the dudes have the decision to either kill one another or kill her. And it's like, but it's like a seesaw, so it's like they're like doing that, and like basically they leave it in the middle, like she's like slowly coming down or something like that.
And they kill her.
Yeah. Well, at first they were trying to kill each other. Like, wait, hold on. And they like lit her up, and I said, "Nah, that's crazy." And I remember I left the room. I said, "What the fuck y'all be like? What do y'all be watching, bro? Like, how can you sit that? How can you watch something like that and go back to regular life? Like, man, that was a great movie.
You know what I mean? Like,
that was a great movie. That was a great plot twist."
When you watch movies like that, do you think about the type of person who has to think of that storyline and that script? You think about the creative minds that produce stuff like that.
I think of the people who like, what kind of sicko made this, but I also think about like, especially when I watch like, I mean, granted these aren't scary movies, when I watch like heist movies, or like people who do like some kind of crime and get away with it. I'd be like, bruh, y'all, why are y'all giving ideas like this? You know, y'all just giving out free ideas. Like, I get it. Like, like this is like low key giving tutorial. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I did. Like, I don't know if you ever watched is it Public Enemy? No. Is it Public Enemy? What's the movie with with Jamie Foxx is a lawyer, and is it Russell Crowe? I don't remember his name. Shoot! It's a movie with Jamie Foxx is a lawyer. They got this guy locked up. He's like he's like this criminal who keeps doing crimes while he's in prison, and they're trying to prove that he's doing the crimes while he's in prison, but they can't prove it. He's so crafty about it. It's like really good. Like, for me, if you like Batman, I don't know why.
I love Batman.
But like, if you like Batman and how like the Joker does crazy stuff, you're like, oh,
yeah,
he's getting away with it. It feels like that, where it's like you're rooting for the detective to get the guy, but the guy, you also love the guy because he's so good at what he does. You're like, damn, I can't be mad at him. He's like, especially when you start finding out reasons like why he did it.
Yeah,
you got pretty sound reason.
Yeah, and make a point.
But
yeah. But that's more action, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, the idea of, like, I do think about that, like, what sicko like shout I'm sorry, not to roast him, but the people that dude who writes all those scary books, he like writes a book. He writes hella books.
I'm talking about
Stephen King.
Yeah.
Like that nigga's sick.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with that guy.
He's got a lot of scary stories.
Yeah.
That have come to mind for him. Yeah.
And like, how do you like? I mean, I don't know how you go to sleep at night. That's crazy. But on the realm of movies, there's a movie coming out that I don't know. How you feel about this movie coming out? Good Burger 2.
Oh, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm hopeful it's gonna be great because the thing is, Keenan and Kel both are still. It's getting a little too comfortable over here, huh? But Keenan and Kel, I think they're like, you know, more like settled in their career and their, you know, comedic styles and things like that.
Yeah.
They both have a lot more acting experience. Like I'm excited. Both of them are going to be in it, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the main returner people who are returning. There's gonna be some people from the original movie, but it's also gonna be a new cast of people.
I like that. I love that. I feel like it's a movie for the millennial, especially, and I don't know. I'm just, especially because I'm a fan of Keenan, especially. I'm a fan of Cal also, but I don't know. It will be cool to see them back on screen together in a nostalgic setting, but with, you know what I mean, their most advanced abilities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like their most pop. Like it just, I'm excited to see kind of like Keenan and Kel all grown up, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
That makes sense. I'm happy they didn't do a reboot. I feel like some people are so quick to do a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we saw that with the White Man Can't Jump reboot.
Mm-hmm.
I get the concept because then you get to play with the story more, but I don't know. I feel like this being a sequel is what got me more excited because I'm like, yes, continuation.
You know,
not like remix and trying to figure and like we're gonna get the same story again. It's like how do we advance the story? So I'm kind of excited about that. I wouldn't say I'm, I guess I'll say I'm a Kenan Thompson fan. I never thought about it that way, but I think he just spoke to my childhood, my whole childhood, like with all that and just all the different things that I always saw him in growing up. He's always been there in my childhood. So it's like to see him on this, like get it, like, he's always been on SNL, but to see him like do another movie like this gets me really excited. But I also talked about, I think it's cool to see like them rekindle that friendship because I remember there was like a bunch of interviews. They asked him like, "How are you? Like, how was it?" And like they weren't friends for a while. Like, I don't know how you feel about like childhood celebrity friendships. We think like Drake and Josh, and like things like that.
It's tricky. I don't know. It's like people grow apart. People can grow back together, I think, in friendship. Yeah. I have friends that I was not friends with for a while after high school, and then we were able to reconnect, and maybe we're not friends in the same capacity, but I think that there's space for that in the future, maybe for some of them. So I think it's great to see people like come back around when it feels, like the right time. Yeah. And I'm curious, do you know more of like why they stopped being friends or?
I think it was just, I don't remember, he didn't really go into specifics, but it sounds like basically like just different trajectories in career. And then I think Kel was going through things in life and felt like he wasn't supported in different ways. So
I thought I read that they both went out for SNL also.
Probably.
And I don't know. I'm curious. Why did Keenan and Kel fall out?
Yeah, but I remember it was like usually when I hear stories about that, usually is that same lane of like, one person wanted to go about their career one way, other person didn't, and then there's a falling out because, especially when you're like friends at such a young age where you have to make those decisions. Like it's different in life. Like when you're older and life is established, like it doesn't really make a big difference. But I think I've definitely been there where out of high school I had to make different decisions that now if I make a decision. But now if I make a decision, it doesn't affect my friendships nearly as much.
Well, I mean, that's good, but like, are you in the same career field as your friends?
No.
Because I think that's probably what makes theirs unique, is being in the same career field and having, because I read a brief blurb that said they had their eye set on bigger things. And like you said, career paths in different places. But even if you have career paths in different places, you still may be needing to navigate through some of the same bridges, you know? And so that can be, I have recently experienced that can be very uncomfortable when you have a friend that now is crossing a bridge before you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I guess I don't know.
Especially when when you feel like it's your turn to cross.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense. And I guess I got to look more into it, because I know Keenan seemed like he went away from acting and went more comedy or like skits, kind of back to like the all that type stuff. And I think Kel probably
He went into stand up, didn't he? He definitely did some stand up for a while.
I've never seen Kel stand up, but I'm gonna look that up. I thought he would have went more acting.
Well, but that does make sense. I mean, that does track with kind of the trajectory of where they both did and eventually go.
Yeah.
And, you know, I respect that. I can respect that too. It's hard when you have like a legacy of, you know, this friendship that everybody has come to adore on TV, a show that everybody's come to adore on TV. But if, you know, Good Burger was more of an acting sort of show.
Yeah, or a movie.
Yeah. All that was more of a sketch show. And so if both of them fell in love with, you know,
either or
particular styles, it makes sense. It makes sense that that's what they did. So I'm glad to see that they were able to like come back, and it's exciting to see Keenan acting again, I guess is my thing, because I like Keenan as an actor. I think that's the thing I'm a fan of more of. Like, I also, like you, he's a voice of my childhood. So my inner child's excited to see them kind of come back together. Also, who's coming back together is NSYNC. Side note. So a lot of reunion energy, and I'm here for it.
I'm not against reunion. I guess the conversation I was trying to poke at was like,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, not like that. I was saying, like, example, NSYNC is a good example, like,
because Justin Timberlake smooth left and went to be solo.
Justin Timberlake was a star anyway.
Yeah, well, a few of Lance had a short season of a solo career also, and I want to say some of the others had other things going on. I want to say some attempted to, but it wasn't quite as successful.
I think the only group that I've ever seen break up and do good in their own respective careers is the Jonas Brothers.
I thought you were going to say B2K. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. B2K too, yeah.
Yeah. Jonas Brothers, I could see that. Yeah, but they all have, they're very solo.
Yeah, they all went solo and then came back, and I'm like, that's weird.
They had fans as solo artists and as a group. Yeah. Well,
shout out to them.
That's Disney for you.
Yeah. The machine. Justin Timberlake, Mickey Mouse Club. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. But yeah, I was saying, like, with these groups, you know, at least the way I always thought about it was, I see these people hanging out all the time. They gotta be like best friends. Especially when you're thinking like younger, like, you know, you always think of delusion, like, oh my god, you know, how fun would it be if I get to do a show with my friends? Like, me and my friends all had a show and we get to do it together. Like, that would be so dope. Like, well, like, and then so like when you see them fall out and you hear about it, you're like, wait, what? And like, I don't know, I was kind of like, did you ever fall victim to that mentality? Like, oh, they're, you know, like I thought they would be closer friends. And then, like, when I think of like shows like Even Stevens, you know, the Lizzie McGuire show, and I think about like, you know, what's that show? Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, oh, they gotta all be friends. And then you find out behind the scenes. Drake and Josh is another good example. Like, they gotta all be friends, and they're not. Or they're not as close as we thought.
Sometimes, I guess, like, I've come across an article like that recently, but I don't remember the people that were on there that didn't get along. So, but I do remember coming across a couple of them, like, oh, wow, I never would have guessed
well, like Zoe 101. They're saying like, is her name Jamie Lynn Spears? You know who Zoe 101 is?
I know what it is, but
so the main girl is Britney Spears' sister,
okay.
and I don't remember this. I don't know if. Don't quote me, but if I remember, they were all complaining that she wasn't the nicest person on the show. And I remember, I don't know, it's like, this is always crazy because like you'll see the screen persona, and it's like, oh, they're a dope person. No, they're not. Guess not.
I don't know. With acting, it's just tricky. I feel like. I don't know. It's hard because, like, I guess Lizzo is a good example of it too. Like, you know, you just don't know who people really are unless they do a really bad job of holding up the mask.
Yeah.
But part of entertainment is holding up a really good mask. So, I don't know. Sometimes there are things that are shocking, like Tiana Taylor and Iman being separated. That's shocking to me because that's a relationship that I really believe. And even if they're going through difficult times, like, you know, adore. I've adored seeing them together and their family. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. I guess it depends on like how invested I am in the people. But most of the examples you provided are shows that were on a little after my time.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't know. I can't think. Not that much older than me. I'm trying to think what. Probably like Moesha.
yeah,
Is that still?
Moesha. I watched Moesha.
Yeah.
They all liked each other. They got along.
Or like a good example would probably be like Martin. When you find out like not Tanisha Arnold, was it?
Tisha Campbell.
Yeah, Tisha Campbell and Martin they fell out and they're still doing a show together. Like that's like, to me that's like wild to think about because like they were literally
married on the show.
like that's wild.
Also, that was news to me recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so long ago that I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I indulge. I don't think it's healthy. Well, there's a little bit of health to it. I indulge in parasocial relationships, feeling like I know a celebrity. Maybe not to the point where I know everything about their life, but I like to think like, oh yeah, no.
Like you're invested.
Yeah,
in their life maintaining.
Yeah, like with the Tiana, like with the Tiana Taylor and even the OBJ and Kim K, like hearing the rumors, you're like, nah, of course not, right? And then you're like, wait, what? like, I don't know. I guess that's the art of being a good celebrity.
Or like Jeezy and Jenny Mai.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That one
blew my mind.
Threw me. I was like.
And when he threw the divorce too and said, yeah, there's no way we can get back together. That's it.
Irreconcilable differences.
That's wild to me.
Wild.
I don't know.
Especially for how hard they were going, or especially she was going in the media.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. I guess I have no idea what happened. It's been a lot of weird
None of us do.
Relationship things going on where it's like...
It's all rumors at this point, like right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know OBJ and his girlfriend's not together. That's confirmed. And then I know, obviously, Tiana Taylor confirmed it herself that her and Iman are separated. So, I mean, granted, we don't need to know the reason why, but...
It's not our business.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, it is not greener on the other side, y'all. Y'all think, I mean, I went through that with Gene Aiko and Big Sean for the longest because I love Big Sean and Gene Aiko. I remember.
Did they break up?
No, they didn't break up. They had a baby.
Oh, okay. That's good for them.
I remember when they did break up because she had covered up his tattoo. And I remember I was just like, no, I'll never get a 2088 album again.
Oh my gosh.
How could I? Like I'm so mesmerized by them, and then you see him hanging out. Like she'll post a picture. Like I remember, I'll never forget the day cover. I was like, I gave up. I'm like, oh, it's over. I don't know. I think about it now. I'm really into celebrity couples.
What about Halle Bailey and
DDG? Mm-hmm. Are they together? What are they doing right now?
I'm curious. Like,
how do I feel about them?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rate them. I'm gonna rate some celebrity couples.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me see. DDG and
Halle
Bailey. I don't know. I give them a solid 8. I think they're a pretty cool couple.
They're cute.
They're a little, like I said, they're nice social media couple. They're not like too out there, but they like. I like how they kind of like, I kind of like how they play with
each other.
Yeah,
They
like,
prank each other a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, they're so cute. I think they're so cute and normal.
What about? Let me see. Let me think of one. Are we doing present or are we doing even past ones?
Past and present.
You ever watch Prank versus Prank?
No.
Have you ever seen? Do you remember the Kaylani and Party Next Door?
I did not know they were together.
Oh yeah, they were a thing for a long time, and that's what broke her up and Kyrie.
Cause she was with Party Next Door.
Yeah, not that they were together, but like there was like rumors going around that they had did something, whatever. That it was like rumors going around that she cheated, but she didn't. And then her and Kyrie had kind of fell out because of that. She was with Kyrie at the time.
Oh no, I remember her talking to YG for a minute, or rumors about that.
YG 400. Yeah, but I got a picture of Party Next. It used to be my wallpaper. It used to be Party Next Door has a song called Kaylani Interlude, Kaylani Freestyle, and he raps about her. Like they got like this like weird like, cause he the one playing, we a thing, but we not a thing.
Party Next Door has this song called Savage Anthem, and that shit is it's so savage in the lyrics. He's such a sad savage in it, but if he's anything like that song,
giving it a 1.
That makes sense that Kaylani's interlude, but yeah, not the one. So that's surprising. Okay, I can't rate that couple because I didn't know.
What about Drake and what's her name? What's her name? Tyra Banks.
Different. That's different. I don't know. That's a good. I don't know. That's rude. And there's no shade against Tyra. There is. It's just Tyra has been so problematic. So is Drake, though. So in that regard, I don't know that it's a bad matchup. It depends on Drake's next album and what he's really saying in it. I can't give them a number yet.
No?
Because if his next album is called For All the Dogs, I need to know, what do you mean?
It's for all the dogs.
Is this one calling out doggish behavior, or is this more anthems for doggish behavior?
No, I think actually I'm gonna take a left turn. I feel like For All the Dogs is gonna be about the feelings that dogs deal with.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And then they're perfect together. So, if that's the path he goes with that album, I think that would be.
I think that would be a great, as a dog, people who, I don't know, I would imagine as a dog, you deal with a lot of conflicting emotions. It's no song, like I said, Drake's the only person who makes songs for you.
Is Tyra Canadian also?
I don't know. That's a good question. Where is Tyra? I think no, because Tyra, no, I think Tyra from America. Tyra from America.
It is called America's Next Top Model.
But yeah, I don't know. Let me give you an easier one.
Okay, yeah.
J-Lo and what's his name?
And A-Rod?
Yeah.
Or who's she with now?
Oh, her ex-boyfriend Ben Stiller.
Oh, that's not Ben Stiller.
Not Ben Stiller.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Ben Stiller. I'm getting old. I'm just saying shit.
Ooh, J-Lo and Ben Affleck. That's tricky. That's hard too, because I really liked J-Lo growing up, but seeing how competitive she is for the spotlight, that's kind of been sad to me to see. I don't really love that part of her character, and Ben doesn't smile very much, so I don't know that has anything to do with their relationship, but
just perception. This is
the perception of their relationship, maybe a 6.
Okay.
Because I think they have
Better
the
than
history.
average?
Yeah, I think they have the history. I think between the two of them, they're both good enough actors where they can conceal the reality of their relationship from everybody, so nobody knows what really it's like. And so I give them credit for it being actually like stronger than what we might see. But at the same time, I also see how they've grown into different people, and I'm curious, like, so now that you're different people, like, how are you actually compatible still?
Yeah, interesting.
You know? Is it just because you're in the same world and you're trying to move through it with somebody who understands?
Yeah.
You know, and somebody you don't have to explain yourself to?
Probably.
You know? But are you actually still compatible? Like, are you in this world still? Because you're not the same people you were. Like when they first were together, they were both so like fresh and obviously loving Hollywood, loving being in the spotlight. And I think they both still like the spotlight, but it's just like Kenan and Kel. J-Lo is a singer, Ben Affleck is an actor, and those director. Are still and a director. Those are still very different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Industries. So
interesting.
I don't know. I'm gonna give them a 6 though.
I gave them probably a 5.
Really?
I never wanted. I mean, not like saying they're like trash or anything, but I don't know. They just give me a basic relationship. Like, okay, Ben Affleck and J-Lo. Oh, that's
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
It's like for sure. What about a throwback? Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie.
Ooh, I loved them together.
I ain't gonna lie, me too.
I honestly, that's a 9.
that's pretty up there.
Yeah, like I loved them together. I don't know. I feel like
they were like, I was okay with their mess.
Yeah,
I was okay dealing with their mess. I was like, oh, dang. Like, still, I hope they get through it.
I forget why they broke up, to be honest. But I don't think it was under.
I remember they kept talking about the love triangle with Jennifer Aniston.
Really?
Wasn't it? I don't know. I only saw it in People magazine.
I would be happy to see Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt together, though. Like, I would love to see that in my lifetime.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm still sticking with Angelina Jolie. That's my baby.
I love Brad Pitt. I think he's still such a great guy on the outside, at least it seems. Yeah. And like Jennifer Aniston is also still such a wonderful and lovely woman. So, I would love to see them together. I think, also I can appreciate Brad and Angelina for the time that they were.
Yeah.
I don't think that they could ever like have that same. I don't think they could create the same magic that they had when they were together back in the early 2000s today. Mm-hmm. Like it's a different world today too. So I'd rather see kind of like what Jennifer and Brad could do today, because I think they would actually be a bit more compatible.
What about Will and Jada? 1 rating pre-entanglement, 1 rating post-entanglement.
It's hard because I actually really loved Will and Jada pre-entanglement. I really believed in them.
There wasn't many dimes out there. I thought the relationship was a dime for me until I heard about the entanglement.
I know, my parents definitely were always like, oh no, their relationship is weird. But I was always like, I love Will Smith. I love Jada. Like, you know, I've really enjoyed watching them parent. And I don't know, I also enjoyed Red Table Talk for a while during COVID at least.
Yeah.
So they were pre-entanglement. It was a good 9 for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Before entanglement, it was probably a dime.
Oh yeah, you did say that too.
Yeah, they probably. For me, I didn't know too many intricacies, but the little that I did know, like as far as like, kind of like how they were promoting Jaden and like helping him grow in his career. I also think about how they dealt with Trey and his mom, how they still had a decent relationship with, like how they were like kind of friends still with his mom and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I like how granted, now we don't know. Like, I like how their relationship was never messy in the public. I think I really, really appreciate it. Even though, like, consciously, something could be going on behind the scenes, but I liked how it was never in the public. I think it was a dime for me. Like, to me, it wasn't like, I never was the type of person, like, I want their relationship, but I think the biggest thing that I wanted from the relationship that I thought was cool was just the fact that they were so, like, it seemed like so understanding of each other's situations. Like, understanding that she, loved Tupac and all that stuff, and she understood that he had, like, his situation with Trey's mom beforehand and still has love for that woman. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the understanding for me was like, that was like 10, but after entanglement, I don't know, bro. It's probably like it's I say it's like a 6. It went down a lot for me. I think the entanglement didn't take it down too much. I think it was a slap, and then post slap allegations was just like, for me, it was like I think after entanglement,
Yeah.
it was still up there like like 8 or 7, 7.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But the slap, and then like her being like, I don't know why he did all that. I said, yeah, man, this relationship is giving avocado.
What does that mean?
It didn't age well.
Oh.
Like,
wow.
like at first it was, avocado was great.
That's such a good metaphor.
But now that, like, after Will Smith got on social media, that relationship just like, it's like when you cut, it's like the avocado was good in the refrigerator, still not cut. As soon as they cut that thing open and started show themselves to the social media, that thing turned brown quick.
Wow, that's a great.
I would call it entanglement. The picture of him just looking so defeated, deflated.
Oh man.
Like, man.
You can't unsee that meme either.
Poor Will Smith. He didn't deserve that.
He didn't, because I love Will Smith. That's the crazy thing. I still like Will Smith.
Yeah.
And I am sad to see kind of, I guess, the mask slip, because I also remember being super excited to see him on social media.
Yeah.
So to see the avocado metaphor kind of play out it's sad. Also surprising to see how Jada is talking about, how people talk about Jada and the allegations that come up about her. I think that that's also really interesting. But to your point, I can really appreciate how accepting they are. I like that they grow together, and that's even in like the yucky stuff.
Well, I think that's the most admiring part, even about post entanglement. Like, it's not like, most people, we saw Nia Long when she was breaking up with she's divorcing her husband and fighting for custody, stuff like that. Like, obviously he cheated and whatnot. Like, it's understandable. I think it was. I'm not gonna say everybody should do it, but I think it was admirable that he was like willing to still like reconcile with her, even on her show, to reconcile like what really happened, like clear the air. Like, I thought that was dope. I don't know still, because it ain't my wife, but like at the same time, like I thought that was like really, it says a lot about him.
Yeah. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say everybody should do it though.
I like a couple that can break up and it be amicable, that they can both put the truth out and not try to like conceal it, especially when people are invested in the relationship and like, like y'all as a couple.
They're still together, right?
Well, no. Who are you talking about?
Will Smith
and Jada? Yeah, they're still together.
Yeah.
But I'm just speaking generally.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I can appreciate. I'm thinking of like the show Love Island. Have you ever watched watch dating shows like that?
Yeah, I love dating shows, but I have to stop watching them because I get addicted.
It's easy, especially with Love Island. So
that's a segment we gotta do. We gotta watch shows like that and review. That would be fun.
That would be so fun, because I've come across some clips from the most recent season, which I haven't watched, and it's looking messy after Casa Amor, and I need to get there.
Have you seen the show Love is Wild?
No. No. Is it on Netflix?
It's on Discovery.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, I know. It's such a left turn, but the premise of the show, I feel like I talk about the show all the time, but the premise of the show is such a good show, is that everybody's on an island, but you can't speak. So it's like basically like there's like a narrator, like a think of like a David Attenborough type of voice. There's a narrator, like narrating it like you would watch The Wild. Mm-hmm. So everybody picks like their spirit, they pick their animal. Like some people's a duck, some people's a frog, stuff like that. And like they go into this like they go meet with everybody and they can't talk at all.
They just get to be the animal that they chose to be.
Well, they don't have, I mean, they'll do stuff like that. Like, you know, they'll be like, you know, if they're a bee, they're like, bzz, 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 bzz. But
Okay.
like, but really it's just more like, it's a lot more like, kind of expressing yourself non-verbally.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, so you do that. I think the first episode, like everybody meet with each other, and then there's challenges. So you do the challenges, and you do the challenges with your partner or like solo, depending which one you do. And after you win the challenges, you get to choose 2 people to go on a date, and you get to talk on a date. So like basically it'd be like, you know, like the people will win the challenge, and the person gets to choose 2 people that he's interested in to talk to, and then we'll see if the chemistry goes over in the date. And then at the end of the day, they get to all go. They have to kick somebody off, and then the way they kick people off is that everybody has to pick somebody to like they want to be partners with. So like,
Oh yeah, it sounds like Love Island, similar.
Yeah,
but
so
no
like-
talking.
yeah, no talking. So it's like, I'll choose you, I choose you, I choose you, I choose you, and then it's like one person left. They get kicked off, and then they all go to the room and they talk.
Oh,
Spend
yeah.
the night, and the next day they do it over. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that sounds very much like Love Island.
I think the best part about it that I like is that, because the first episode is awkward. It's always awkward. It never gets unawkward because it's like, ew, they're doing weird stuff. Like they're still drinking and stuff like that. Like there's alcohol and stuff like that. They're like, oh.
Oh my gosh, it's probably like The Sims. Like when The Sims party. Have you watched The
Yeah,
Sims?
I've played The Sims too.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
So it's like that, and then like after they start kicking people off, they start bringing people in. So now that's where it gets fun for me, because it's like these people who are kind of used to this now, and they throw a new person in. The new person's always like, "What the? Okay, like, no, fuck you got going on." And they have testimonials and stuff like that, but
That's crazy because they have to assimilate
show.
basically.
it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Solid.
maybe I'll check it out, but I like the drama of it's similar on Love Island.
Yeah.
It starts off with like 6 people, 6 women, six men, and usually 6 women will be lined up and they'll introduce each guy one by one. And as each guy is introduced, they'll ask the women, how many of you are interested in him? Step forward. And so based on the ones who step forward, the guy can choose which woman he wants to partner up with to start. At the end of every episode, they get to recouple. And so you get to choose if you want to stay with the person you originally matched with, or do you want to match with somebody new?
Messy.
So messy. And it's so good.
It's so good. I think that, man.
So good. Because the thing is, but this is the thing, people will get voted off, and then they'll, like you said, bring new people in. So people who have established relationships, you can't get too comfortable because someone new could come in at any moment, and it could be somebody that's exactly your person's type. That's the other thing. People might meet new people that are like totally not their type. They'll be partnered up, enjoying themselves, and then here comes somebody that's 100% a person's type. Personality, looks, everything.
Yeah, that definitely happens in that show. Wait, is there testimonials?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
usually that's what I love about testimonials, because in the show they'll talk about, he's like one guy says something to the effect of like, yeah, I don't really like her, but I know she kind of feeling me, so I'm just going, you know, partner up with her. I think we have some good chemistry. And like, it's like one of those things where like it becomes one of those things too, where it's like they agree that we're just going to keep picking each other, so we don't have to worry about it.
We can see what options are coming in.
Yeah, and then, you know, that always turns so weird. Like you said, when somebody comes and like someone starts to switch up, and they because that's the part I forgot. So when you talking about coupling, like, so what happens is like the reason why people get kicked off is because it's like I think the girl picks a guy, and the guy gets to choose say yes or no.
Okay.
So it's like, here, take my charm, and the guy can go yes or no. And that's where it gets tricky, because, you know, you'll build this relationship with this person, and then you'll choose him, and he'll be like, mm-mm. And they're like, oh my God. They still can't talk. So imagine, and like, every time it happens, it doesn't get any better, because, like, you know, putting yourself out there, you're just putting yourself out there. Why are you like this? That's so good. So good.
And if they say no, can somebody else come and make an offer, and they can say yes to you?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's good.
Good TV. like I said, man, I need to watch. Like I said, I love Real World.
I think
I love Jersey Shore.
I think dating shows are good too because it's kind of cathartic. Like you can relate to almost at least one person or a couple people on the show at some point. You can relate to something that they're going through.
Yeah, I think the only show I never really got hooked on was Bachelor.
Oh,
it was just a little bit too.
My old roommate got me hooked on the Bachelor.
The Butcher.
The Butcher.
Good new show concept, The Butcher.
She got me hooked on The Bachelor. It's a pretty good show, but I haven't watched it since we were living together.
Dang.
And when there was a black bachelor, that was kind of a point of contention because it was like, was the black bachelor really, was he doing it for the show? But he was fine.
Yeah.
He was fine, but he was boring.
Oh, was he? They chose a lame. That's what hurt me about the Love Is Wild. Spoiler alert for anybody who wants to watch it. There's a black girl in there, and she's the wolf, and she ended up eliminating herself because she couldn't connect with nobody.
Anybody, yeah.
It was like there was one black guy on there, a Jamaican dude, and he was cooning, bruh. Choosing all the white girls. Took both of them on a date. He goes, she talks too much. And then after that, like she was kind of like going around, like she was trying to put her feelers out, and wasn't feeling it. She ended up eliminating herself one episode, and I was like, and she was like,
This was on Love Is Wild?
Yes. Still thinking about it. I'll never forget that episode. Because I remember I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm just like rooting for her. I'm rooting for her. It's a couple other black dudes, but she's the only black girl. And she was like, I'm actually eliminating myself. So then when I was basically feeling like she's not connected to nobody else, and that I was like, oh.
Honestly, that's what happens on The Bachelor too. And I think that's why I wasn't enjoying it after a while. Because I'm like, it feels like they never really want to choose the black women, or like black women are here, but like they're never really into them. And then we get a black bachelor and it feels tricky. Yeah. Like it feels tricky, and you want to see a black couple win the Bachelor because you haven't even hardly had any black bachelors. So, but my roommate was not black, so I don't think she like really got the like.
She didn't care.
She didn't get how why it was so important to me that like he chose a black woman.
Yeah.
And it's not that deep. It's not that deep. But when you're watching it and you're like invested in a particular storyline and outcome, and you're like, Oh, so, but yeah, I don't watch The Bachelor anymore. It's kind of, it has that.
I think that would be a good thing. That would be a good thing to do, is like watch some either old ones or new ones, like watch a season, like go through a season with the viewers. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. Because see, that's the thing about The Bachelor is I don't know if it aged well.
A lot of them didn't.
Yeah. So, but with Love Island, and my older roommate also put me onto that show. I think it's a better version of The Bachelor. I feel like black people aren't treated the same way that I've seen on The Bachelor. So it's like more rewarding.
Yeah.
You see more black people choose each other because they understand. You can see on the camera the way they talk about it. They understand like the value of black love if you find it on there.
Yeah.
But also they're open to dating non-black people. And so it's a nice representation of black people dating today.
Yeah.
The real realities of like, loving the things that come special with black love, but also recognizing that that's not going to be guaranteed with every black person that you date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
there was a girl.
Sometimes you're open to other people, and that's okay.
There's a media group called, I think they're called Black Love, and they had a girl on there, and she married a Asian man, and she was talking about that. Like she said, the thing that she hates, I don't think she used the word hate, but like the thing that she gets upset about when she's dating her man is like the reception that she gets, where people are like, okay, girl, you went and got you a good one. And she always like has to like, so she was making a point on when she was on there, like, listen, I didn't like marry this man like in spite of marrying a black man. Like I love black men. I just happen to love this man who happens not to be black. Like, and I think that's important to like make the thing, because I feel like in the community it is like that. If you date outside the community, it's like you couldn't find you a black girl.
Exactly. You're getting the energy and the looks.
And for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. So anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think about that idea, because I'm down with that. Like, choose a season or something, or like choose like watch Love Island or keep up with Love Island. I'm down to start watching Love Island and keep up with it and like explore on it like every so often, because any excuse for me to watch a dating show that's productive, man, because I get lost in the sauce.
Oh, well. Productive. We'll see about that. But
I mean, we can talk about the podcast become productive, no?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that reason, like, oh no, I'm not. It looks like I'm not doing anything, but I'm actually studying,
doing research.
Doing research right now. That's funny, but damn, I feel like we got in the weeds.
We did.
Ain't wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I guess we might as well just get into like talking about some of the more personal things we wanted to talk about. I read an article about. Also, by the way, if you made it this far, do me a favor. I want you to realize you're a real one. But also, like, subscribe. If you're listening to the audio version, please follow or subscribe, whatever platform it is, and rate us 5 stars. It helps out a lot. Very much so appreciate it. I always forget to do the, what do they call them? There's a term they use for them, but I always forget to do that. But
and comment.
Yeah, comment. There you go. But just want to let you guys know I appreciate you for making it this far.
We love comments.
I wanted to get into, like, I was reading an article about, like, defensiveness in relationships. It was a pretty good article. But the thing that stood out to me in that article was they talked about this concept called a conflict loop. And basically, a conflict loop is when you keep having conflict around either the same topic or the same type of thing, like over and over. And the reason why you guys don't overcome is because you guys kind of end up like tiring out of the conversation, because one person comes aggressive and the other person ends up being defensive. So the article kind of goes into that. And I kind of wanted to like just like explore that. Like, I wanted to know, like, I think an important thing that he talked about in the article was that even in healthy relationships, conflict loops are normal, because it's what starts a conflict loop is the way you initiate the conversation. They said if you start asking why or how, or like making a person explain themselves immediately, it comes off it puts the conversation in a negative position. It puts somebody on their back foot type beat. So I kind of want to ask you, like, have you ever experienced like dealing with conflict loops in relationships?
Yeah, I have. I can relate to that. I can't say like recently.
Yeah, just in general.
I guess.
Because I even think about like with parents, I can imagine conflict loops are probably common. Yeah,
like I feel like with my parents, maybe even like sometimes my grandma, there are certain points like growing pains for us. And I could say, especially with my parents over COVID, I was definitely growing through, because all we had was time to think about ourselves, think about our lives, think about the things we experienced. And I could say that, I think my dad and I in particular, we were in a bit of a conflict loop, me working out a lot of anger every time I'd come to him. Yeah. It was me. It was how I was bringing the conversation up. Yeah. But then it would be how he would respond too. And so it would just, until eventually one day we were able to stop responding and starting the conversation in that way. Yeah. And that was also through loss. Like, loss really changed the temperament, I think, for both of us. Makes sense. Processing the loss of my grandpa was, him losing his dad, me losing my grandpa. It was opportunity to like not be mad and actually just be more grateful that we still have each other. So I have been in conflict loops. I can relate to them, but I can say, like, I feel like I'm more conscious now, and like I will tell people I'm not going to ride this roller coaster with you. Yeah. So we can have a productive conversation and we can have a productive relationship, or I'm going to get off this ride and you can ride it by yourself, But sometimes that's like not fair too. Like sometimes people, well, not the conflict loop, but I guess sometimes you need to move through the conflict. You can't move under it. You can't move around it. You can't set it aside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know.
I think that is important when it comes to, because I don't think, like, again, I don't think all conflict, we're not talking about, when I speak of conflict, I'm not talking about petty things, you know, or at least when I think of conflict personally, I don't think about, well, I guess I think about both because they both happen, but I think the petty things are the things that where people kind of get lost in. Mm-hmm. Like, why didn't you take out the trash? Mm-hmm. You know, things like that. Like, those are things that are hard to work through because it's like, it's like a direct action. Like, you know, like, and that's what you talked about too. Like, with something like taking out the trash, instead of saying, why didn't you take out the trash? You can be more like, I feel like when you take out the trash, you don't respect anything I'm saying type stuff, you know?
Literally can't relate. I don't know. Yeah, like, well, I feel
I'm not saying like...
No, I'm saying, because I think being single, I've had the opportunity of being by myself and avoiding conflict-like relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've weeded out a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
So... It's, you know, I kind of think about, like, when I am in my next relationship, I'm sure maybe some of those things might come up. Mm-hmm. But I feel, even with my mom, I feel like things are different now, the way that I communicate with them. Yeah. So, do you think does it talk at all about, like, I don't know, I know you said that they're normal parts of relationships. Do they talk about, like, common points common points within the relationship that you might see conflict loops? Because you're saying, like, small petty things, but for me it was like deeper stuff with my dad. It was like the stuff you know what I mean?
The point I was making was that when I think conflict, I'm thinking the deeper things, but I'm saying even the little things you can benefit from these conversations because like I said, the point they bring up is that when you kind of
Let me pull it up too.
Like, they're basically talking about when you initiate the conversation, you started in a harsh way. You always do this. You never do this. Why do you do this? Why don't you do this? Like, those are harsh starts because you're basically expressing a disappointment in the person. And
you're blaming.
Well, exactly. You're like, not. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's, whether that be, I think even in the most healthy relationship, I've definitely been hit with, like, why aren't you married? Why don't you bring a girl over? You know, I've also been hit with, like, you know, why didn't you go to college? You know, those are things like, that's what I'm saying. Like, those aren't, we don't see those as like conflicts because they're not what we usually do. We usually talk about, but those are common questions I've been dealt with before, and it does turn into not like I'm not thinking an argument, but it's a conflict because, like, I have to explain to you why I didn't do it, and you're trying to explain to me why I maybe made a wrong decision in your eyes, and I feel like in relation, I was saying in romantic relationship, it usually be something petty or it'd be a little bit deeper, like, you know, why, you know, I asked you I wanted to go on a date last week, and why didn't you take me on a date this week? You know, like stuff like that, like, you know. And he's basically talking about, like, there's nothing wrong when we get to that, when you have those conversations, but to truly repair, because they said healthy couples go through conflict and they repair instead of letting it build up. They repair. So it's like there won't be loops, or there won't be as many loops. There will be, like, repair being done. And he's saying that the key to that, to having that, to, like, have that to have criticism without defensiveness, is how you go about starting it up, which is like, I feel, you know, like if my mom was like, instead of my mom saying, like, asking me why I didn't go to college or something like that, she's like, I just feel like I'm worried about your future because you didn't go to college, and, like, we have a conversation from there. Like, that's a whole different conversation now than, like, why didn't you go to college? You know? Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's what I said. It's not a quality of an unhealthy relationship. It's just usually like when people feel a way about something, instead of expressing maybe that's how they're feeling and they have, like, a concern, or they have something that they want to know more about, or they want something changed, they immediately go into, Like, why didn't you already
Interrogation mode.
Yeah, why are we even here?
Yeah, it's interrogation mode almost.
Yeah.
I feel like that with my grandma sometimes because I know she wants like the best for me, but especially in my love life, she really wants me to be with somebody that's going to treat me right.
Yeah.
But the way she'd be asking me questions about my dating life, I'd be like not inspired to talk about it. You know what I mean? And that is it's a conflict loop. And then it hits different when you ask like, how is dating today? Versus, why are you not dating anybody right now?
Exactly.
Or although she will say, have you been on any dates? But still it's like on me.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is like, if it came from a place of I'm worried, like you've been single for so long, you're such a good girl, like you deserve to be happy and in love. And I'm worried that you're not prioritizing that. You're working so hard. Like, when do you have time to fall in love?
Yeah.
That would hit different.
Yeah.
So we do sometimes get in that conflict loop where I get defensive because I feel like she thinks there's something wrong with me when I don't think that she thinks that, but it's how I take it.
Yeah.
And this is like therapy right now. Because I'm working on trying to, just improve that connection with my grandma. I don't want to be having conflict. So that was really very helpful. Actually, the note of repair. Because that was also what I was trying to get at with when I was saying, like, I don't want to ride this roller coaster. Mm-hmm. It's like, you want me to keep getting on this broken roller coaster with you. And I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But if we fix this roller coaster and it's a fun ride, like this relationship is a fun ride. Yeah. The loop might be worth it. Mm-hmm.
That's what I said.
Loop on the ride.
The one loop. I don't need multiple loops. I mean, that's what I said. I don't know. For me, like, especially like, I think about, especially because I guess the key is like, we can't pull it all on
the other person.
On the person who might do a harsh startup. Because at the beginning of the article, he makes a good point. Let me see. Criticism is one of the four horsemen of a relationship.
What are the four horsemen of a relationship?
Four horsemen of a like the four horsemen is basically like a reference to the Bible. The four horsemen is going to basically mean like the demise. Mm. So like they're saying like criticism is one of those like things that like can like cause a relationship to fail. Mm-hmm. And another thing is defensiveness. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's not one or the other, it's both. Mm-hmm. If every time I get criticized, I'm always defensive, you're gonna always put the person saying something to you, like one, to maybe make them feel like they can't say anything, which is not good either. Yeah. And it's like I think that was the thing was like, even when it comes to, granted, like I said, we always got to hold people accountable, mm-hmm. And I think that's the key too, especially to like growing and repairing a relationship is accountability. But like, I know like with my parents, I don't feel like, I always feel like the communication style is not to what works best for me. But I also have to like be aware of that, and when I deal with them, to not get too like reserved, which it sucks. But it then like goes back to like, what's your goal? Like, do I want to be closer to my dad,
or do I want to be right?
Yeah, right? Or do I want to be stuck in my position? And like, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes seasons of life I'm like, nah, I'm not fucking with somebody because just the point I'm standing on. Mm-hmm. But then again, like after probably like a season or two, I'm like my point softens because I'm like, the bigger picture is like people are dying. You know?
And sometimes, depending on what it is the conflict is about, sometimes it is important for the person to acknowledge you where you're right. Mm-hmm. And if they're not willing to do that, then the conflict continues. And sometimes me wanting to choose to be right is going to be more important if in the relationship you cannot acknowledge and affirm my truth. Yeah. So
I want to ask you something, because I think about what you said about the one loop. Do you feel like relationships are less forgiving nowadays?
don't know. I think it depends on the conflict. I don't know. What do you mean?
Like, do you feel like people are quick to get out of a relationship and stick it in? Yeah,
No.
that's a weird word. Stick it out.
No, I feel like I see plenty of people stay in relationships, and even when it seems to me like a person wants to exit, and they'll say they're going to exit, but then the next thing you know, they're getting right back in line for that roller coaster.
I see.
I see that all the time. I feel like I see that more than people pushing through and, you know, pushing through for the sake of somebody that's really good for them, and pushing through for the sake of they want to be good for themselves. Like, so I don't know. I don't think that relationships are less forgiving, but I do think people today are a little less forgiving with one another in general.
Yeah, I don't know. I just ask because, especially when I think about, like, when I start thinking about Bumble and Tinder, I feel like, or even Instagram, like, I think the amount of options we have, I feel like people have like a less of a tolerance for BS, which I think it could
That's
also be
true.
a good thing. But I also feel like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it'd be like, yeah, bruh, her nose, something about her nose, bruh, I had to cut her off. It's like, damn. It's another girl with a better nose that slid in my DMs.
I think people are more selective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think people are more selective because we do have more options. And so it's easy to be like, yeah, if there's like just one little thing off, you can easily be like, no, I think I could find somebody that doesn't have the one thing that kind of gives me the ick. But to end a relationship, I do think people get the ick in relationships a lot more also.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to answer this question. It's hard. Like,
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just more
don't
talking about from
know.
your perspective. Because I only ask because, like, from my perspective, I know a lot of people who, like, I don't have very many people who've dated people for a long time in my friend
Really?
group. Yeah, I have friends who, like, are serial daters. Like, serial daters. Like, serial daters.
when you say, what do you mean by serial daters?
I mean, like, they're dating a new person frequently.
What is frequently though? Is that like every week, every 3 weeks, every month, or like how long are they in these relationships?
If I quantified it, I would say that they're probably talking to a new person. Like, I would say like this, they probably talk to over 20 people in a year.
In a year?
I think that's maybe less, maybe like 10. But like I feel like I sat and thought about how many people, like, the people that I know who I see them with a new person. I'm like, damn. To the old person. Oh, you don't
And
understand.
they're using titles?
You talking about calling them a girlfriend? Mm-hmm. Nah, not that though.
Oh, okay, they're just serial. I don't know.
That's
I guess
serial
that's my
dating.
life. That's been my life, but not that
Yeah.
many people. Like, that's kind of wild.
Yeah. But I'm talking about, like, I guess I'm more talking about the reasoning. Like, it don't be like we're not compatible. It'd be more like, I didn't like that. It's like I'm out and it's like, well, shit, like, what are you looking for?
I think there are a lot of people out here who don't know what they're looking for, and that's why they do that kind of stuff.
That's on God.
So, because there's so many more options, I think it's easier to be in the place of, I don't know what it is I'm looking for. I think one moment you can think you really want one thing, and then the next moment you see something else and you're like, wait, those who don't know what they want.
Yeah.
I know what I want, so I know what I'm looking for, you know what I mean? But that took dating, it took getting out there, so,
Yeah.
you know, I think that there's a place for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's a bad thing to be more selective, or, you know, but maybe I'm speaking selfishly.
I'm just thinking about, I don't know, I was thinking about, because, like, I think about, I don't know, I guess for me, especially when I think about dating, I think, like, I don't take a lot of people on dates if something's already off, you know? And I think maybe because Tinder's a little bit different, but, like, I've never, like, sat down with dinner with somebody that I didn't, like,
Feel
have an
attracted
interest
to?
in. Yeah, have an interest in, for the most part. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been times where you have interest in somebody and you realize, like, okay, after a couple of days, like, you know what, it's not gonna work. And that makes sense. But I'm talking about, like, people where it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, you kind of, like, especially when I think of, like, only thing I can use is, like, Tinder, because I feel like people understand that the most, where you're like, this person's hella cool on the DMs, and then you meet them and they're not the person that you met. So you're like, trash. And like now you're like looking for the next person. Like that to me just boggles my mind because maybe I always met people in person where it's like we vibed that one day. Like, can I get your number? And then there's like a little chit chat over conversation. Mm-hmm. Maybe we go get coffee or something like that, or maybe do something light like we'll go to the park, and then fill it out and like okay, then I'm gonna take you on a date and start dating you. Like at least that's my process. Like it's usually like introduction. And then it's like, you know, kind of like the little, you know, the filler, trying to get like the whatever. And then it's like, you know, depending on how that conversation goes, we'll probably go straight to a date or usually be like, let me go see what they like in person.
I mean,
let's go on a group activity and I'm gonna invite you to the group activity and see how that goes. And then like, but I guess that's probably why in my head when I'm thinking like that, I'm like doing that 10 times a year, it's crazy.
What?
Not crazy, but like that sounds like a lot of work.
Well, welcome to the life of a single person. Like I don't know what to tell you because that's what it is. I mean, unless that's if you're really out there trying to meet somebody. Yeah. For me, I don't know. I haven't been on dating apps in years. Yeah. So that is so funny that you think that sounds exhausting.
It does. Because dating is exhausting.
Going on a date is like, I don't know. That's like going to meet somebody for coffee. I feel like you can't count those. Yeah. You got to meet people. And the other thing is you don't know who a real person is until you've been on a series of dates. Yeah, yeah. So going on 10 dates in a year, I think that just means somebody is, you know, open-minded. I know you're not asking me what my thoughts are on that, but...
I'm not saying like... I guess I'm not saying like 10 dates. Like I'm talking about like you've been like... If we're talking about like... When I think of what's it like an average time period, I imagine you dating somebody's like at least in my average time period is like 3 months. Okay. There's only 4 months. Like if I'm dating for somebody for like 3 months, that means there's some crossover there. If you're dating 10 people.
Yeah. If we don't have a title and you're not talking about making things what's the word I'm looking for?
Official.
It's not just official, but yeah, if you're not talking about making things just us two, how would I know I shouldn't be going on another date? How do I know you're not going on other dates? Like
that makes sense.
If we're not exclusive, that's the word. If you're not talking about exclusivity, then like if there's overlap and your feelings are hurt, that's your own fault. Yeah, I mean, I'm not hurt about you, but that's not coming from like if I was in that position.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like where it's tiring because like that the focus 3 months right there already is enough. But like imagine like. I'm overlap. Like I don't know. Granted, also you gotta pay for dates. I mean, you probably paid for dates before, but like, I think about all that money too. That's a lot of money to be dating around.
Well, we live in a world where women don't make as much as men, so I don't feel bad about that at all.
No, I'm just saying. I'm talking about like from productivity standpoint, like $100 a date, 3 or 4 dates, $300 a person, 10 times. That's like $3,000. I guess it's a worthy investment if you find the one that you're looking for. But fuck, if you don't, like damn.
Bro, if you're spending $100 on a date and you don't have it like that, then you shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, I don't know. I have tried to get to know people for about 3 months, and by the end of the 3 months, not been convinced that it was the person for me.
Yeah, I'm nothing wrong with that. I was saying like 4 times. Like
yeah, but what I'm saying is, ain't nothing wrong with that for me. But the other person felt exactly like you. All these 3 months put in. No, but we haven't. I'm over here like we haven't talked about exclusivity. We haven't. But you might have spent some money on these dates, and sure, I'll send you some money for this last one that you took me on. Yeah, but you're not entitled.
That's wild. I'm not conflating with that. That's like entitlement. I'm not saying that. Because I dated somebody for 3 months, it should turn into something. Mm-hmm. I'm just more.
But what if you dated for 3 months, it didn't turn into anything, and that person let you know, and
you charge it to the game.
They started dating somebody else.
Charge it to the game. You're not with them. Yeah, that's me. Now it'd be different if like we were exclusive for a year, we break up, and next month you with somebody. I'd be like, damn.
Oh man, that's dagger to the heart. That's what I'm saying. Like that's brutal.
That's different. Like hey, it's like we were dating. You know, we saw each other maybe. After 3 months, we saw each other like 5 times, and now like you're feeling some type of way. Like, bro, get over it. Unless you was talking that crazy stuff. If you was talking that crazy stuff, some dudes would be like, or even some girls be like, ain't nobody but you. Like, I really rock with you. And then at the end, it's like, I don't really rock with you. I thought I was feeling it, wasn't feeling it.
You know, I'm sorry.
Then it's kind of like he gets a little bit of a pass because, like, damn, bro, you sold me a dream. But if you didn't get sold a dream and you was just like high on your own supply, nah, bro, you tweaking. So,
well,
that's my. I was just. I don't know. I was thinking about the math. I was just thinking about the maths of it. Like,
yeah, no,
Jesus.
A little triggered over here. So,
for real, 'cause, I mean, I don't know. Like, granted, like, I take it back. Let me think. When I was casually dating, nah, hell no. I was a terrible casual dater. I was like you know what? I was a casual dater that you're talking about, where I dated somebody, and after I'm like, I'm not necessarily working out. I was like, what the fuck? What you mean it wasn't working out? I'm like,
it's just not.
It wasn't what we were looking for.
But you know what? I've been that person too. That's been like, what do you mean? Who's convinced themselves entirely that this last 3 months we were talking, even though it's only been 2 dates we've been on, that, and even though you're ghosting me occasionally here and there, but then coming back around, that 3 months still meant something. Yeah. I've also been delusional.
So let me ask you, like, do you feel like maybe it's the fact that it was exclusive that changes the tone of it?
No, I don't, because I mean, I think for me logically right now, yes, but back then, no. Like, back then it was everything. It was all about, like, one, my level of maturity, and this was like undergrad, like feeling very just insecure about myself and wanting so desperately to be in a relationship. So, just convincing yourself that once you meet somebody and they're into you, that's enough. That's enough. Like, okay, so we're here. But, like, no.
Yeah.
No, that nigga's probably out on another date, girl.
Yeah.
He is not really serious about you.
I ain't gonna put that energy on everybody.
It's not on everybody, but I'm just saying, like, when you're younger, it's easy to convince yourself that something is more than it is if you really want something bad enough, especially when it comes to dating. You want to be in a relationship bad enough. Loneliness will have you thinking all kinds of crazy if you're not careful. Yeah,
I think so. I was writing in my journal about loneliness yesterday. I feel like this is how I'm feeling. I was writing in my journal freely. I was writing about loneliness. I was thinking about the times that I ever felt lonely. I only feel lonely, like, when I am dating somebody or with somebody, because I feel like when I'm by myself, the fact that I know that I'm by myself, there's no lonely feeling. Mm-hmm. I feel like the lonely feeling comes from, like, I'm with somebody or, like, dating somebody and it's not being reciprocated. Then I'm like, damn, I feel lonely as shit, because, like, I'm saying the person I'm fucking with, I don't fuck with. Or I feel that way. And granted, you're gonna go through those seasons of, like, feeling that way even though it's not true, or figuring out if it's true or not. But yeah, that lonely feeling will have you on some crackhead shit for real. Cause, like, I remember, like, messing with a girl and, like, her kind of not taking the situation serious, but I'm taking it serious, and not even serious like she's a serious candidate, but taking it serious, like, I'm fucking with you, I'm putting effort forward and this and that, whatever, and really feeling like, damn, like, you feel lonely, so you try to do more, like, you're trying to see that person more often, and it comes off not the way that you try to. It's coming off kind of crazy, and yeah, man, it sucks.
Yeah, been on both sides.
Yeah,
been on both sides.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be on the other side now, though, about dealing with those sort of emotions, because it's hard when you feel so strongly for somebody and you want so badly to be in a relationship, but you can't convince yourself of a relationship with somebody who's like just clearly not there for you. Yeah. You shouldn't do that to yourself. No, if anybody can relate to that.
Yeah, shout out to those people.
Shout out to growth.
Yeah, shout out to growth too.
That part.
That's one thing I will say. At least I can only speak for my life because I'm that nigga. I know there's a couple people who've dropped the ball, and they've come back. And I just want to say, like, I'm glad y'all realized y'all dropped the ball. Because you had me going for a little bit, like, damn, maybe I am trash. You come back around like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Like,
I'm not delusional.
I am of value.
You realize when you went out there that it's raggedy out there. You thought you had a hoopty. It was just, a fixer-upper. This has value if you repair it. The one that you had has no value. It's a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's giving. It's giving lemon vibes.
Ooh, like a pretty Maserati with a broken engine.
You feel me? Or what did Kevin Sanders just say? A total McLaren.
What's that?
A McLaren. It's like a Lamborghini.
Oh.
Like a total Lamborghini.
Oh. I don't know what that is.
A Lamborghini.
I know what a Lamborghini is, but
McLaren is another brand car like that. But he said total because it's like obviously looks nice. Everything, but the value's not. The value's gone.
It's gone.
The value's gone.
It's all smashed up.
Yeah,
that's a better metaphor. I like that a lot more.
I kind of like the fixer upper because, a house is like, oh man, look at this house, got holes in the wall. The last person who was there didn't take care of it. The last person who was there didn't take care of it. Beat it up. Now here I come, fixing it up. Now it's the dream home.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're not gonna walk straight into your dream home. Sometimes it takes a little bit of legwork to build it.
Also in real life, if you don't walk into your dream home, you need to make a lot more money.
Yeah. Well, and that.
If you don't walk into the dream home's cost. What you paying? I don't want to pay much. I'm cool with a fixer upper. not like that. No disrespect. I'm cool. I'm cool with a mid-sized house. I don't need the 5 bedrooms. I'm cool with the 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
Okay. Good. Good average size family home.
Yeah, and then we'll grow to the bigger homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting lost in the metaphor here.
No?
No, I'm with you and then I'm lost.
What are you lost about?
The metaphor.
Oh, the metaphor of a house?
Yeah, and where are we going with this?
I was just more saying I was just talking about you saw what was perceived value. Mm-hmm. The house is beat up. Mm-hmm. Whatnot. Mm-hmm. You're like, what? The house is in a bad neighborhood. The last tenant didn't care for it. I don't want to put the work in. I don't think there's value in putting the work in. Mm-hmm. So you pass on the house. Mm-hmm. And then somebody else comes to buy the house. And they, it built it up. And now they come back around oh, look, it's a nice house. Mm-hmm. Remember that house we passed up on?
That's true.
And they try to come back around. And it's nah, it's too late. The house already sold. We're not selling the house.
That's you. Are you the house?
I'm the house. That was the metaphor. I'm the house.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the perspective, the people who are trying to buy the house are like, is the house still for sale? Can I rent? No.
I feel like I dropped the ball a lot myself in undergrad, so I haven't had a lot of people coming back around to me recently, but I do know people who've dropped the ball in terms of me, and I feel like, whether they come back or not, I don't give a fuck, but I hope who they're with is a good choice for them.
Yeah.
Because they saved me a lot of time.
I saved me a lot of time.
They did. Time and energy.
Yeah.
Precious time. My time and energy is valuable. Yeah. And it took dating a lot of frogs to figure that out.
Oh.
So.
Not the frogs.
Not, just going on enough dates with frogs where you're just yeah. Why am I doing this to myself?
That was a podcast I'm listening to called The Business of Hype, and I'll leave it on this. Okay. Because I only bring it up because it was funny the way he said it. He was talking about they're basically just talking about comparing people to planets. He was talking about after they're talking about if in fashion Kanye West was the Big Bang, mm-hmm. and that's where the Virgils and everybody came from. He was talking about how it was a bunch of things, a bunch of planets that came out that were dope. He said, but it was also a bunch of, Plutos out there. We thought that was a planet, but it's not. That's not a planet. He's like, you can't terraform that. And that's what I thought about when you say that. It was a bunch of frogs. I thought about the planet thing. It's look like a planet, and you get there, oh, that's not a planet. That's just a rock. That is just a big rock.
Floating around in space.
Funny. But anyway. Well, guys, appreciate you guys for joining us on another episode of the Special Friends Podcast. As always, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Again, if you guys made this far, you guys are real ones.
The realist.
Do me a favor, like the video if you're watching on YouTube, comment and subscribe. Also, if you're listening to the audio version, do me a favor and rate the video 5 stars. It helps out a lot. If you haven't done it, please do. Either on Spotify or on Apple. Helps let people know that we're the real deal.
Yeah.
We're the real deal around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Hope folks listening have a lovely week. That's all. Whenever you're dropping in and listening.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you for listening too.
Peace.
Peace.
You're my special friend.